Greg Braden talks about a story that I always think is really apt, especially for this one, where the person you're interacting with initially probably tells you that they're going to fuck you over within the first, one or two interactions unintentionally. They can't help it. They will tell you, be like his story was like, he walked up and the guy had the same birthday as him or something. And he's like, oh, it's like I'm your evil twin, ha ha ha, ha, and laugh or something like that, where they're going to be like, right, that means nothing. And I'm like, no, that means everything.
I mean, isn't that unaware sociopathic behavior though? Isn't that like that?
Right.
I got a hint, and if you're too stupid to not pick up on the hints, then it is karmically appropriate that I completely fuck you over, right? Like that's how they think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like they're thinking in this terms of consent.
Yeah.
Like,
again,
but it's more,
I can't comprehend that, but it's more of being aware that that's a thing.
That's
it happens. I had to have that ingrained into me after the Marine Corps, probably thanks to a degree to, you appreciate that, the dark triad or whatever those are. Yeah. There's a Machiavellian, psychopath, sociopath. Be aware of those. I think that's super important to understand them, that they're there.
Right. The lower three chakras are called the dark triad. Why? Because the dark triad is actually feeding off of our dark triad. It's a reflection projection. So it's like if I'm programmed to be a victim or I'm programmed to be the abused because I've experienced abuse, I'm going to just attract abusers subconsciously, not knowing it.
Right.
So if I know that about myself, someone comes into my space and they're saying all the right things, right?
Oh, yeah.
They are parroting they are able to congeal themselves, right? They mold themselves into, they profile what I am, what I like, what I'm about. So what do you like to do? Right? And I'm just like, oh my God, I haven't had this experience. They're love bombing the hell out of me, right? They're so about me. I'm a genius. I'm so smart, all this stuff. And people are calling me crazy. These people are calling me genius. Suddenly I can't see them for who they are because they've played on my lower three insecurities and in my chakras. Yeah. So now they're able become something to me prospectively that they're not. And they talk about the impressions in the first 10 seconds. You already have an impression of somebody. If they can profile me and then they come out with an impression, right? They impress upon me. Basically, they kind of impress or imprint into me. This is who I am. And it can take, if I'm not self-aware of my own triggers or my own vulnerabilities or my own insecurities, it can take years. And even people telling me, this person's a narcissist and you're just allowing it. And no, they've got all these plans for me. They keep telling, no, they're such a good person. They're charming. And even seeing for myself how they interact with other people and how they screw other people over. And it's like, I'll bet they wouldn't do that to me. No, they just playing the long game with me. Them, they don't need anything from them.
That's like short term. Me. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going back to radical transparency, self-awareness. I can only be used and controlled and manipulated by the dark triad based on my own reflection of my own dark triad or my lower self-consciousness, right? My lower self is completely unconscious, subconscious.
Right.
But the more I become aware, and the more I take ownership, the more I gain sovereignty